Howdy friends, it's Kathy from Rust Paper Scissors, and I wanted to do a flip through of my Christmas journal. I call it the Christmas Rose. It's kind of turned into a behemoth journal, but I really liked it. I've done several different things that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to do some of my thought process. This is the wide gator mouth, like I say. It's just kind of gotten out of control, and then I added the little jingle bells on the bulldog clip. This is my closure. What I did was I took an old book, and I originally covered it in the sticky back to velvet red, and then I did black along, or I believe it was black along the spine. And I made this journal last year, and I made the insides to it and just never put it together. And so this year I thought I've got to get this one done, and so I did. And you know how things evolve. So when I was making it, I felt like the journal with the red velvet and the green, I used red and green sticky packed velvet throughout the book, and you'll see it. But you know, things just evolve. I felt like the book had more of a Victorian vibe to it since it had the velvet. So it's kind of more of a Victorian-ish themed journal, but I think you could use it for modern day. It wouldn't be a problem. But what I did was I had the red velvet, and then I wanted to decorate the cover, and so I had been thrifting, and I found, I believe this was a lace curtain, but it had this beautiful red and pink flower. I call it a rose. So I ended up calling this journal the Christmas Rose, and I added some of my lace from my wedding dress, and then I just bordered it with some ribbon. I added a nameplate that says Christmas. You could turn it over and it says December, or you could add your own nameplate there, the year, whatever, however you wanted to use it. That's what I like to make these journals, so you can take it and you make it your own. I did add, this is a little crocheted like flower or medallion, and then I added this, it was off of a necklace that I got at a thrift store. And I'm crazy about rust, and I'm crazy about bling. So I like to add that to my journals. So you'll see in the book that I have that. So that's the front, and it's 9 by 6. The spine is a 2-inch spine. The back is just plain, and then that's about 7 inches. And I finally just had to quit putting things in the journal, and I have some things off to the side that I'll show you that I'm going to include with the journal, but it just got to be too much, and it's crazy. So sorry for that, but I couldn't stop. The way I journal is I'm more of a comparer than a journaler. I like to compare several Christmases. So when I think about a journal, I think about all the different signatures. Well, if you wanted, you could take each signature, and that could be a year, and you could compare 2020 to 2021. You know, what did we have for dinner? Who came? You know, what was the top 10? What movies did we watch? So that's the way I like to journal, just more, you know, what were our memories and traditions and decorations. So it does have 5 signatures. You could use it for one Christmas, or you could use it to compare, let's say, 5 Christmases. Just it's for you to take and make your own. It's also very blank. There's a lot of place for you to journal. There's a lot of place for you to add memorabilia. There's a lot of places for you to add pictures, just for you to make it your own. So I wanted to talk a little bit. I haven't ever talked about when I make a journal, I usually, for the signatures, I like to use this darker craft colored file folder. So that's what I make my signature out of. And I've also made them out of the black file folders, but normally I use this craft color. I've also made signatures out of this corrugated paper. I buy this at Amazon. I know you can recycle corrugated cardboard, and I do that too and like that. But I also like to use the paper because it's thinner, it's a little bit more flexible, and it makes great covers for your signature. You can collage this, you can add a metal prong fastener. I do that, I'll show you. But this is also a good example of something you could use. So that's that. Let's go inside and take a look. I want to make sure I'm in frame. The inside is, I might need to go up just a little bit. Let me go up just a little bit so maybe you can see more. I kind of tried to stretch myself and use some different things, and one of the things that I did was I tried to use some fabric. I love looking at the different fabric and lace journals that different YouTubers make, and they're just beautiful. I don't have a sewing machine, so I can't add like a pocket to the fabric, so I just struggled with how to use the fabric in this journal. And I did add a doily or a handkerchief to each signature, and I'll show you what I did, but I didn't do much, but I left it for maybe there's a picture you wanted to put onto the fabric, or just might be some way you could use it, or just leave it as I have it. But this is the inside cover. It is covered in the sticky backed velvet. I added a library card holder and then a library card, and I stamped an image of Santa, and then I added a little bling and some lace. And then this was just a beautiful image of a Christmas image, looks like a red barn. And so I like that. I also I sell these little rusted ribbon crimps, and I use them on the sides of my signatures to add a little journal jewelry, I guess you call it. On these I added the rusted jingle bell. And then on the inside, here's an example. This is funny, you'll laugh. When I made the journal, sometimes I can't think outside the box, and I tried to cut the file folder so that stamped image wouldn't be on there, but I couldn't figure out a way to do it, and so I wanted to cover it up, so I ended up covering it up with the sticky back velvet. If I had just used my head and turned the file folder the opposite way and cut it out, this could have been the front, and I could have collaged on the front, and anyway. So that's, think outside the box. Don't look at just something and assume that that's it. But so each signature has a page of the sticky back velvet just covering this signature cover, and I think that looks pretty. I think that would be a pretty background for a picture, or you could use it however you wanted. Then this is another example of, I made this tag. I had this, I believe it was a doily, and I backed it with some heat and bond, but I had my iron too hot, so it kind of ruined it. So I had what I could salvage of it. So I added it to this tag. It's just a craft tag. And then I added some of that tulle from the front cover and the little Christmas rose there. And I wanted to incorporate this in the journal, but I didn't know if whoever gets the journal, how they would want to use that. So I left this out plain so you could add it if you wanted to, wherever you wanted to add it. So, but I thought that was really pretty, and I that. Then on this doily, I added a rusted jewelry pin, and then I tea-dyed the metal rim tags, and I sell both those in my Etsy shop, but I just thought it says believe, and so I thought that was a pretty way to use that. And again, if you could, I think you could glue a picture on there, or you can embellish it in some way, or just leave it plain, however you want it. In this journal, the pages are tea-dyed, and like I said, there's a lot of blank. The signatures, the pages are the same, the ephemera is different, but again, I do that because I think if you want to compare years, so the pages are exactly the same. And we'll just go through, so I won't say on each page, you know, every time. This is an example of, this is a page, and then it is a fold out, and this is a little image that I got, and it was a digital kit. You can find the digital kits of the fussy cut items, and I have never been much of a fussy cutter. I don't have the patience or the skills to do that, so but I wanted to try, so I ordered this kit, and this one I noticed had a faint little line around it, so it shows the echo where you're to cut, and that really helped me because I didn't know. So if you're looking at digital kits and you want a fussy cut, see if they don't have the little line that kind of gives you a guide. The other thing I wanted to mention was, think about the different type of paper that you use. For mine, I did not want the white halo. I wanted it to be more the vintage looking style. So I printed a lot of the digital kit on just cream paper, and here's another example of a little girl that she's just on cream paper, and then when you cut it out, it's, you know, it looks cream or vintage. Then I also printed several of them on the craft paper, and I liked that. Of course, it gives you definitely a different look, but it's much darker, but again, I think it looks vintage, and then you don't have that halo around it except for the cardboard. And you'll see examples of this later on in the book. The other thing about when I have a pull out, I normally like to try to strengthen the edge of the paper so, you know, it gets a lot of wear and tear in a journal, but so I try to strengthen those pages. So that's why I usually put something on the edge of the paper. This is some ledger paper, and again, I just added the green sticky backed velvet to the edge to strengthen it. I did the green so, you know, your eye could see the red and the green, and it's red and green throughout the book. This is a part of a bulldog clip. It came apart, so I just wanted to use it, and I added a little rhinestone, and then it could be a little tuck spot. So I just added that as a little interest. And then again, this pulls out, and this is just some ledger paper. I like to use manuscript paper. I think it's a good, you know, lined paper, kind of different. And then on this side, on the tuck spot, I didn't glue it down in case you wanted to add a thicker element. You could glue it down, but I just left it open in case you wanted to add something a little bit thicker. And then these two tags are tags that I made, and I wanted to say what I did was I used Roxy Creations. She does wonderful tutorials, and she has several tutorials on how to collage and making these different kind of collage tags. And what she does is you take a piece of old book page and you cover it with just various different scraps, and then you cut them into tags, and that's what this is. It's just cut into a tag. I added it to some craft paper, and then I added again the little fussy cut image, and I think that makes a beautiful tag. I like the music. I thought that went with the manuscript paper, and then this is again just another example of that collage. Then I added this, it says Jolly, and again it has some of the music, and I thought that went with the manuscript paper, so I added those. There's not a lot of tags in here, it just got too crazy, but I do have some tags that I'm going to include with the journal. Then this is just some graph paper. This is in the center of my signatures. I normally put an envelope, and it adds a place for you to add your own memorabilia or things. On this one, I just added a beautiful digital image, and this one I backed it with ribbon twist paper. I sell this in my shop. I sell the green, and I sell kind of a tan or beige color. It is a little fussy to work with. You have to untwist the paper, and it can be a little time consuming, I'll be honest, but I love it. What it does, it gives you some visual dimension, but not a lot of bulk, and so I really like it. But it does take a little bit of work. And then the back of the signatures, at the back of the envelope, these are all the same in the book. I added just some lace, and then I added some trim. I thought that'd make a pretty backdrop for a picture. And then here's the graph paper. And then there's just two more little tags that I added, Christmas polka, and then this Santa to and from, but it had the music on there, and I thought that went with the music theme. And then here's this is another example of a pull-out, and this is just some tea-dyed ledger paper, and then I have these metal rim tags in my shop, and on this one I stamped the details, and then it could also be a tuck spot. And then the back is just plain. And then this is an example of just some writing paper, and another little digital image, and I just added it to some corrugated cardboard. I added some lace to strengthen the edge, and then it's just a winter scene that I thought, you could write about. Maybe you go sledding or snowballs or snowshoeing, just whatever you do to make winter special. And then this is just tracing paper, and then this is the back of the doily, and then this is the back of the signature. And since I felt like this book had a more of a Victorian vibe, I used Victorian Santa images, and this is an example of one of my signature items. It's the metal prong fasteners. I usually add these in my journal, and then I add extra pages, again, for you to journal on. But this just has a beautiful picture of the Santa. And the beauty of these is you can remove them. You could add more pages. You could take these pages away if you wanted to add something different. So that's that signature. And then the next one is, this was just some a beautiful image of some snowmen, and then it has the jingle bell, and then this one has the green sticky backed velvet. I alternated red and green, so when you're looking through the book, your eye sees the red and green. And then this is just a handkerchief, and I added a little tag, and it says, "A hug is a great gift. One size fits all." Let's see, it says, "It can be given for any occasion, and it's easy to exchange." So I liked that, and I thought that was appropriate. And so that's just that handkerchief. And then here's the tracing paper. This was an example of, again, just some writing paper. I made a tag, added some baker's twine. This is an example of the ledger paper. I added the red sticky back velvet, some lace. I added a blank jewelry pin for you to add, whatever you wanted to that page. Here's the manuscript paper. On this one, I added a little tuck, And I love this image of this Santa, and so I wanted to make a little tuck spot. So it's just blank pages with the Santa. It has a little bling. It has the metal prong fastener, corrugated cardboard. So I just added him. I love him so much. And then this is just tracing paper. Here's the center of this signature, and on this one I added a little digital image. It is an order blank, and so inside I added some little order blanks that I found. I will list the different digital images that I used, but this was just an order blank for like some bread, and I believe this is an order blank for like some cocoa. And then I just included different sizes of this image in there for you to use however you wanted to use those. And then another thing I like to use is I use these alligator clips as, I use them like paper clips. And I add a rhinestone, or I add a flat back pearl, or I leave them blank, and I sell those in my shop. The nice thing about them, I think, is if you position your clip just right, you can see it on the outside of the book. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but that's that. So, and then the back. And then this was just the other side of that manuscript paper. I added a letter to Santa. It's just a place for you to journal, a little corrugated cardboard, and some ribbon that says Merry Christmas. This is another example of a tuck spot. This was a tag that I made, and I just fussy cut the little girl and added her. And then that strengthens the page, and then this page is blank. This is another tuck spot. I don't stamp a lot in my journal, but I liked it. This says "'Tis the Season." I stamped that, and then I added this little crocheted flower, I guess, with a rusted fender washer and a brad, and just that's the tuck spot to pull for that page. And then here's the back. And then this is, again, on the back of the handkerchief, I glued it down so it's like a little tuck spot if you wanted to add something there. This is the Santa image for this page. It's that same Santa that I love. He's just in color. And then we'll go to the next signature. This is a beautiful image of a deer. And I thought that was pretty, kind of a winter scene. This is the red velvet. On this handkerchief, I added a little jewelry pin, and then I added Create Memories. And then the pages, it's always, what was the weather? So I added this little girl with I wanted to put on there, "Baby, it's cold outside," but I didn't have a stamp or didn't have time to figure it out, and wanted to get this listed. This is an example. Again, a lot of times in my journals I will include an insert that is a prompt for, like, I call them HOJOs, holiday journal inserts. Traditions. What were your traditions? What were your decorations? Who were your guests that year? What was the menu? What was the weather? So in thinking of that, I did not include one of those in this journal. I got the little guest check, and I added the baker's twine, and then I had a stamp that said "Eat, drink, and be merry," and I thought that just made a perfect little pull for this page, and I liked that being the guest check. And then here's the manuscript paper, the graphed paper, and this one, this envelope center, it's just a digital, and then I backed the little Santa with some red sticky backed velvet, and then the back is plain. This is that pocket for the manuscript paper. It's just a digital printout of a Santa, and I put him on some sticky backed velvet. And then here's this page. This is another pull-out page, and this one I added I add these little, they're called granny square triangles, or half a granny square. I taught myself to crochet this year when I was helping my mom, and I like to add them as tuck spots. I think it adds a vintage feel to your journal, but obviously it's not vintage because I just made it. But I like that. And then I added just two little tags, one that says toys and dolls, and then this was paper dolls. Again, for Christmas, I think you should get dolls, and I'm old enough to remember paper dolls. And then I do have one homage to kind of modern day Christmas. And this is just something that you could remove, but it's a list of tickets that I made on my Cricut machine, and it's different movies that we watch religiously, like Christmas Vacations, White Christmas, Elf, It's a Wonderful Life. We have to watch It's a Wonderful Life every year on Christmas Eve, and I have a tradition with my best friend from high school, and we watch Christmas Vacation every year. We've watched it for, let's say, 30 years. We've never missed one year. I laugh like I've never seen it. So, maybe you write about that. When the kids were little, we told them that White Christmas was a G.I. Joe movie. And so they ran and got their G.I. Joe dolls and came and sat down to watch White Christmas. And it's only like G.I. Joe for like 5 minutes. But I love that. I remember that vividly. So, you write down what your memories are and what was special to you. So that was just an example. That's mine. Again, you can remove them. It's not part of the journal. And then here is, those are falling out. Here's the Santa for this signature. And then the next one is this beautiful, again, kind of a Christmas image. It's a lantern, a little red in there. And then this is the green velvet. This doily says family. And just the same. And then the pages. This is just, again, strengthening that page. I added this image and backed it on some green velvet. And then this is another example. This is funny. When you're making a journal, you never know how it's going to turn out or what's going to be the theme, or you just don't know. And so this one I strengthened the edge, and then I thought, well, I'd like to have an image, and I just happened to find this image that I had cut out, and he fit perfectly. So sometimes things just work out, and I have another example I'll show you at the end. But it's fun to see how it comes together. And then this is just the digital for this envelope. And again, this is the ribbon twist paper. This is in the tan color. And then this is the back. And then again, here is the image of the Santa that I love. And I just made a tag. I added a small granny square triangle. Add the washers. Again, I have it tucked on here with the alligator clip. And then this is another example of the ledger paper where I added a tag. And again, this is the tag that was inspired by Roxy Creations. It was the collage tag, and then I added some lace, I added the ribbon twist, I added the image. And then down here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, but I added a little bit of vintage tatting, and I really like that. I used to tat when I was younger, but I don't remember it being that tiny or involved. So I was really surprised. And here's just the pages. Here's the Santa for this signature. Just the image, kind of a Victorian image. And then here's the signature. This is just another digital. It's a beautiful candles scene, Christmassy. And then this is the red velvet. I added this tag and jewelry pin with the word remember. And this is the last signature. And then this was just a flip up. It was just some lace and tatting, not tatting, but tulle, and a little ribbon crimp with the rhinestones on there, rusted. And so that's that pull out. And then this is, again, a pull out, and it's a little fussy cut image, Christmassy, with the corrugated cardboard. And so here's the manuscript paper. And you know, you try and do different things in your journals. And this one, I don't know if you can see, this was just another example of a tag that I made with the fussy cut and then the book page on the back. But I see a lot of ideas, and I have these tiny little metal rim tags, and I sell them as closures, and I just wanted to include that here, so I just added some baker's twine, and I used it, and then it's a little secret spot that you could write a secret message there if you wanted. And you know, you may think it's silly, it might not mean anything to you, but I thought it was just something a little different. And like I say, you want to do different things. It's usually not this difficult if I wasn't on camera, but it's fun to do different things, and that's what I tried to do there. And then I just leave that extra. Okay, here's the graph paper. This is the envelope for this signature, just again digital cutouts and prints. And then the back is the same. And then this is the other side of that folded down manuscript paper. It shows that, you know, it's a tuck spot. You could lift it up and again have a secret message under there. I added a tiny ribbon crimp, and then I added some tiny bling. And then the two little tags that I added, Christmas, I always think of dolls, and I always think of bicycles, and I remember vividly the Christmas when I got my bicycle. And so I added this little, as a tricycle, and then this is again just a little tag that I put together. It's that tulle with the Christmas rose and just a digital print. And then this is the last pull out. And this is an example that I wanted to talk about, was how things come together. Like I say, I put this journal together last year, but I didn't, you know, sew it together or complete it. But I made this page. I had seen an example where somebody had taken 4 whole buttons, and they used green ribbon for the leaves or the stem. I'm going to see if I can get this up here so you can see it. And then you used a different color ribbon, not ribbon, but string for the flower, and you make a French knot. So I thought those looked like roses. And then here, you know, a year later, I'm using this